Hi, my name is Arin. This is Arin Honey, and today we're going to talk about a very loose summer TBR. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot. So, I'm gonna try and do this quick. Turn the AC back on. So, first of all, this whole stack is horror. I used to exclusively read horror for most of my life, actually. In the last 2 years or so, I really pushed myself to get out of my little horror comfort zone, you know? Try out new things, and I have very successfully done that. I am giving myself credit for that. I very successfully did that. But now I'm like, okay, I'll keep reading other stuff sometimes. Absolutely. But I miss horror real bad. So I'm feeling in my heart, as summer is coming, I think this is the summer of horror. I really feel that in my heart. You may know, if you've been here, I'm not good at sticking to TBRs. Once I say I'm gonna read something, it's the last thing I want to pick up. So I'm not thinking of this as a TBR. I'm thinking about it as a stack of horror that I feel will be good for the summer months to pick from. So let's jump in. So first of all, there are 2 horror-related nonfictions that I would like to, if not read cover to cover, at least do a solid read through. The first one, from my number one favorite, it's Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix. The twisted history of 70s and 80s horror fiction. The dopamine I get from looking at this cover, exquisite. It's just so good. I'm very interested in the history of horror, so I'm really, really, really excited to pick this one up. And hopefully get a lot of ideas of old paperbacks to hunt for and read before too long. I mean, oh my god. So beautiful. So beautiful. Ooh, witch house. Anyway, so that's the first one. And then the second one is 101 Horror Books to Read Before You Get Murdered by Sadie Hartman. She's Mother Horror on Instagram. This came out this past winter, I think, and I'm very excited to check it out. From what I understand, it's a lot of lesser known horror in there, so I'm really excited to check that out and see what recommendations I can add to my ever-growing horror TBR. I'm not going to go too deep into the summaries here for this stack. I don't want this video to be crazy long because I'm working on a reading vlog, and I would like to focus on that. But the first one on the stack I just started this morning, actually, and that's Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. So this one is like a found footage, multimedia situation about killer mermaids in the Mariana Trench. Killer mermaids. Expeditions. I've heard this one gets pretty gory, which is really exciting. I love taking things that we've traditionally thought of, at least in the last century or so, as cute, like mermaids or fae, and seeing the dark side of them, you know what I mean? It's really fun. And I believe there's both some lesbianism and some autism in here. So, sign me up. Next, we have Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. I love this cover. So pretty. Oh my goodness. I love it. So this one is about a father and son. The mother/wife has recently passed away, and they go out to her ancestral home. It says where they must confront the terrifying legacy she has bequeathed. A family called the Order that commits unspeakable acts in search of immortality. This one's a bit of a chunker, but sometimes when it's those like long, hot, sweaty summer days, you just need a big kind of epic horror to really sink your teeth into. At least that happens with me every year. And I believe this has queer subplots as well. I've heard like the best things about it. Of this list, this is one of the ones that has like the most hype. You know what I mean? Next up is another Grady Hendrix that I haven't read yet. What? It's We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. I love nostalgia horror, especially in the summer, so I'm very excited to pick this one up. I believe this is the 90s. Okay, it's in the 90s, and it is about a rock band who sells their souls for talent, for fame, and I assume it doesn't go very well. I love Grady Hendrix's campy, funny, but still deep and horrifying horror, so I can't wait. And then another nostalgia horror is Head Like a Hole by Andrew Van Wey. I'm really excited about this, and this one seems especially summery because it's kind of like ocean town situation, you know? Let me read a little bit from the back because it really sells it, at least for me. It's the mid-90s. Grunge and flannel are fading as the Spice Girls and Hot Topic conquer the malls. Cherry gloss glistens on the lips of the youth. Modems hiss as America comes online. And in a fog-drenched cove at the edge of New England, something terrible awakens when a fisherman reveals a gruesome catch: the remains of a young woman. Very excited. It has just enough of the vibes of I Know What You Did Last Summer, like 90s beach town horror, that I really feel like it's gonna be perfect for summer. And then this next one was on my 5-star predictions video, and it is Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, along with Our Share of Night. These two are like the ones that get really, really hyped. This is a literary horror about two wives. One of them goes on a submarine expedition and doesn't come back for like a long time. The wife on land thinks she's dead, and one day she does come back, but she's not the same as she used to be. Next up is a classic. A classic. I really want to read this summer. I really, really want to read this summer. This is Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. A classic of the genre. A family. The father dies tragically, and the mother, who's used to a certain lifestyle and unable to work herself, or unwilling, you know. It's the 50s, it's not really clear. At least I think it's the 50s. It feels like the 50s. But her daddy's rich. But he doesn't know about the kids. There was like a big fight. We don't really know what it's about unless you do know what it's about. But there was a huge fight. And she's like, I bet I can get him back on my side. I'm just gonna go, but he can't know about you guys. So I'm gonna hide you in the attic just for like a couple days. Don't even worry about it. It'll just be like a week tops. Except it's a few years. I feel like I'm a little too hyper to make any sense in this video. Hopefully I'm making sense. Or at least it's entertaining to watch. Okay, Milo. Okay. Flowers in the Attic. I want to read it. I generally want to read more of like the classic horror paperbacks. And this feels like a good place to start. I mean, it's Flowers in the Attic. You know what I mean? It's a scary endeavor in general with how much I hated Harvest Home. Hated Harvest Home. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna hate all of them. Some of them, hopefully, won't be so misogynistic. You know what I mean? And then a newer one. Next up we have The Haunting of Velkwood by Gwendolyn Kist. Another queer one, yes, we love to see it. This is about a whole town that disappears and I think turns into ghosts, ? And there are a few teenage girls who can still get in and out, and they're like the ones that were left behind. I've heard this is really weird. I've heard really mixed things about it. Some people seem to adore it and other people seem to hate it, so I'm really excited to see where I land on that. But I think I'm gonna love it. I think I'm gonna love it. Alright, next we have The Djinn Waits 100 Years by Shubnam Khan. I thought that this was going to be more of like a fall-winter horror. So I started it this past winter, and I was like, oh no, this is for summer. It takes place in South Africa, and I don't remember if it is summer, but it's very hot, very sweaty. Like, that's very much the atmosphere. But this is like a gothic haunted house situation, but the big twist is that it's a djinn instead of a ghost, which I can't wait for. I love gothic stories, and I love seeing how authors can take something that's been done so many times and turn it on its head. Okay, we have 3 more that I don't have physically yet. They are all on their way to me as we speak. Thank you, US Postal Service. The first one is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. So this one, first of all, the cover, beautiful. This one is about a girl, I believe she's in college, and she hates men. She hates men. And her mom is dating this new guy. Her whole family, you know, they're of Asian descent. This guy's white. He has these pretty blue eyes, and he constantly sexualizes the Asian women around him. And so our main character starts fantasizing about eating his blue eyes. Yeah, girl. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I really hope we get into some grisly body horror. Please eat his eyes. I would love that. I love the symbolism there. Yeah, just eat his eyes. And then next up is Indian Burial Ground by Nick Medina. This title, dude. I love when authors of marginalized groups are able to take something that has, like, a cliche that has been used against them and turns it... Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to say that any better. Turns it into something else. I just think it's so cool. You know? The, like, horror trope of, like, oh yes, it's haunted because it's an Indian burial ground. It's so sick to take that as an Indigenous author and make it your own. Like, that's just so cool, and I'm so excited to read it. So I believe that this one is about a girl who is with her boyfriend, and they plan to get off the reservation together. But he supposedly kills himself, but she doesn't believe it. So her and her uncle, who has been gone for a long time and just recently came back on the reservation, they're trying to figure out what's going on, because it seems like there's a pattern, like there's something going on the reservation that's a little dark, a little spooky, and I'm really excited to find out what it is. And then last, but certainly not least, we have The Day of the Door by Laurel Hightower. I've also heard really good things about this one. It's I think a more of an indie pick. It's not quite as big as some of the titles on this list, but the people who I have heard from who have read it really loved it, so I'm pretty psyched to check it out. This one is about a family trauma. They refer to it as the Day of the Door. Something horrifying happened to their father/husband, but they don't talk about it. Until they do. Until they find out what did happen. I think they, like, go back to the house and investigate when the kids are older. Something like that. I don't know a ton about this. I don't really want to. I'm just really excited to check it out. So don't get me wrong. I'm sure I'll read some non-horror this summer. I'd love to finally get to Just for the Summer and Book Lovers. I've never read an Emily Henry at all. I'd really love to get to There, some lit fic, dragon fruit, some fantasy. You know, there are a few other things that I want to pick up, but I'm just really excited to have a nice horror time. Let me know if any of these are, like, especially intriguing to you, if there are any that you're like, oh, please vlog that one. A few of these I already have in my evil genius brain cataloged into some vlogs that I'm really excited to do this summer. My goal this summer is to do a vlog a month. I believe in me. I believe in me. And I hope you do too. We'll see if it works. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought about them. Or, like I said, if you really want me to vlog it, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you very soon. Hopefully with a vlog. If I can beat my perfectionism. Can they? We'll find out. Bye.